We are back for our top 5 episode covering TLC. We did our previous episode where we talked about Crazy, Sexy, Cool. We talked a lot about their career. Nice little history lesson in music in the mid 90s as well. So, Mike, let's kick off the top 5 for TLC, just kind of based on what you were saying in the previous episode. I'm going to guess that we're a little bit different here, and which is good because
I think we are, because I pulled some deep cuts.
and also because you're making playlists and we're publishing those playlists and we're putting out posts on 50for50.net.
Yes,
So
indeed.
you get your mixtape master game on in these
It's
playlists.
it's felt good to like kind of be back in that game again.
No, I'm digging them, man. I'm like, I'm saving them all, so I have like this list of all the shows that we've done and the top fives and the playlists, and hopefully people are getting a kick out of it because there. What I realized is people who know us and who are close to us are probably pretty familiar with kind of how we are, and specifically how you are with your music head knowledge and our pop culture fandoms of things and information and just knowing a lot of the trivia and the history to stuff.
Right.
But if Google does its thing and starts surfacing some of our stuff, there's going to be some people who probably don't know the history or haven't really heard. I brought up Amy Winehouse last time, but haven't really heard Amy Winehouse's stuff, and go, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I'd never heard this stuff before. So I'm hopeful that these playlists are getting listened to and people could pick up on some of the things that we really enjoy about these albums.
That would be nice.
Okay, so do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first. I think I went first last time.
Okay, so number 5 for me, the only song off of FanMail. Now, this song is I could see if people thought it was a little bit preachy, but because of who TLC is to their audience, I really like the message, and that is Unpretty.
Okay.
I think that was kind of their last, like, real. I don't know if I would consider it like a hit, like some of their bigger songs, but
I mean, it was a number one record.
but the moment, right? Like the video, I think I want to say Left Eye was doing sign language in the
Hmm.
video. Like it was just very thoughtful song, and again, they're feminists, they're standing up for women, girl power. Like I really love the theme and the message from Unpretty.
Right on. My number 5 is completely on a different tack. It is the only song from their first album that I put on my list, and it's "Baby, Baby, Baby." It's just they came out real hard with "Ain't Too Proud to Beg," and "Baby, Baby, Baby" was kind of like them smoothing it out a little bit. And for whatever reason, I just remember them singing that song on Arsenio.
Yep.
And Left Eye came out. She had the guitar and she was playing it. Um, I don't know why I remember that performance as vividly as I do. It's just like, women with instruments. Maybe it's that kind of, I don't know, whatever it is. But that performance was dope. And that song is still really good.
So in the episode where we talked about Crazy Sexy Cool, I mentioned that when I was in high school, I'm 15 or 16 when they drop that performance on Arsenio when Chilli is singing the hook of that song.
Right.
I think I just melted. I was like done. I was like, who is this person? And they need to be in my life.
That is too funny.
Like, and there's something so endearing about her to me.
She's just, Chili seems like she would be so much fun. Actually, both Chili and T-Boz seem like they would be a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
T-Boz will get you into trouble.
Yeah.
But Chili, you could probably just
T-Boz
chill
will
with.
probably like make fun of you too a lot. She'll probably be
Yes.
cracking on you.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that song, by the way. It is in my top 5 as well.
Okay.
But it was, I think it was it was a very important part of that first album because it just allowed that song to get played in more places so that you could know who they were.
Right. Well, it's like if you thought TLC was just a rap group, and remember, this is at a time when a lot of radio stations, both pop stations and R&B stations, would not play hip hop at all. Baby 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 was a way for them to kind of get in that door as well.
Yes, for sure.
It was
Um,
it was there. When will I see you smile again?
all right. I think I'm gonna be going a little bit more chalk than you. So number 4 for me comes from Crazy Sexy Cool, and I don't know why this song, like, and I'll tell you, so the bigger singles on Crazy Sexy Cool, Creep and Red Light Special did not make my list, but
Mm.
I think this was the 4th single, Diggin' On You, but for kind of for the same
Wow.
reason that Baby 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 works or Waterfalls works. I think it is just it transcends uh rap or R&B or adult this is you can just play it anywhere in it just crosses over, and I just really liked. I think that song was also really smart for their album.
Interesting. All right. So my number 4 pick is actually from the 3D album,
Oh, wow.
which, again, a lot of people don't necessarily listen to or pay
I
attention to.
forgot
And
that
it's
it
not
even existed.
right. You forgot it existed. It's not an awesome record, but there are some good songs on it. This was the second or third single from the album, and it's called Damaged. And Dallas Austin produced it. And this is around the same time Dallas Austin was doing songs with Pink, like "Don't Let Me Get Me."
Mhm.
So it has that kind of like I could hear Pink singing this song, but instead Chilli is singing this song. But it's also like lyrically, it's about, hey, I know that we're in a relationship. I know that you might be a little weirded out for me, but I'm damaged by my previous relationships.
Mm.
So it's got a lot of resonance there, and it's just cool to hear like TLC basically doing a rock record.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
All right, number 3 for me was Baby Baby Baby, so you can go. You already talked about it.
Yeah. My number 3 is Waterfalls.
And there we go.
I man, I again, like when Crazy Sexy Cool came out, Mary J's My Life came out either the week before or the week after. I don't remember which. But I played those 2 albums, and I had them on cassette. I played those 2 tapes over and over and over again. Like, I memorized those albums. And Waterfalls stuck out immediately because it was so different than all of the music that they'd put
Mhm.
out before. It was like a live band, very, like, slow, funky kind of feel, and, it just had, like, substance to it. And, again, it still resonates today. Like, even, you know summer of '95, I'm like, "Did I have cable? I must have had cable." So I'm sure I saw the video more than enough,
Mhm.
but, regardless, the video I don't even think about the video. The song is just fantastic.
You know, when you like your favorite show also has like something that has to do with a song that you really like, and they those mediums like cross into each other. It's kind of like one of those fun moments, like, oh, you guys like the same thing that I like.
Right.
There's an episode of Martin, and I don't even remember what the episode was about, but something Gina was doing something, and I think she realized that maybe this was a mistake, and Martin goes, Gina, don't go chasing
Jason.
waterfalls, baby. And then Gina goes, I know. But when she says I know, she does like the choreography to the video.
Oh god.
It's- that's like I died. I was like, oh, perfect. This is why I love this show so much. Because they're listening to the same songs that I'm listening to. um okay, so number 2 for me, because Waterfalls is number 1, by the way, for me.
Okay.
So
Gave it up early.
yeah, number 2 is What About Your Friends? And I remember watching that video and thinking like, these ladies are like just way too cool for anybody. Like they're so charismatic. They don't really care. They're wearing the baggy clothes. And then I think this is the video where T-Boz kind of shows off a little bit of a physique, because I forget what she's wearing, but like one of her arms is bare and she like throws a bicep flex. I was like, oh, look at she got a little bit of muscle there.
Steve
Like,
Osborne working out.
no, 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 actually, no, it was Chili. It was Chili. It was because Chili's like tiny, right?
Yes.
And then Chili flexes the bicep, and I was like, oh, look, she's been doing some curls, some dumbbell curls. Look at Chili. But yeah, I just remember that video thinking like they're kind of on top of the world to me, being 16, going like, okay, these are the three coolest chicks I've ever seen in my life.
Indeed. So my number two is kind of another somewhat deep cut. It is the title track to Fan Mail.
Mm,
And I can't even explain why I like the
thought you
song
were
as
gonna
much
say.
as I do.
Thought you were gonna say "Silly Ho" for some reason.
Silly Ho is also a really,
It's a
really
good
good
song.
song. Yeah, I love that song. Um, like it's weird. For me, Fan Mail starts off really, really strong and then just kind of like does this towards the end. It's too long.
Mhm.
I think the album is just too long. Um, but you know, the track, the title track, "Fan Mail," so it's got a little bit of Timbaland to it, like that kind of like, you know, sort of like double, triple step beat. And T-Boz just again, like she's her voice is so unique.
Mhm.
Like she doesn't sound like anybody that came before. She doesn't sound like anybody that came after. And even, she's not a Patti LaBelle or an Aretha or Christina Aguilera or whatever, but her voice has so much character to it. And it'll come back to my, when I get to my number one. Um, Even though she doesn't always necessarily sing on key, you still like feel it
Mhm.
because, she's got so much character to her voice.
One of the most recognizable voices, right? Like if you
Yeah.
just put on some headphones and somebody played you some vocals with no music underneath, you go, "Oh,
Oh, that's
that's
T-Boz.
T-Boz."
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Can I give a shout out also to Hat to the Back? It didn't make my top 5, but
Yeah.
it was in my like, the next 5 or whatever. And the reason again, it's like what girl groups wearing hats and ball caps and flipping them around like Ken Griffey Jr. and that like that's just was cool at that time, you know?
Like, they were the first they took, like, the aesthetic of, like, MC Lyte kind of, and a lot of the sort of tomboyish rappers, female rappers at the time, and they turned it into R&B.
And we're in being tomboys, we're
Yeah.
so attractive at the same
Yeah, I
time.
mean, exactly, exactly, exactly.
All right, what's number 1?
My number 1 was Creep. Creep is just, that song never gets tired.
I think I have the same problem with Creep as some of the songs that you had mentioned before in that that song was on the radio so
All the time.
much, and it's
Yeah.
very unique because from the first note, you know exactly what that song is.
Mhm,
Right at the beginning, you're like, "Okay, this is Creep's about to play."
mhm.
But yeah, it was just so overplayed, but it is, it is very signature. It is, one of their 2 or 3 most signature songs, I think.
Bugs. Yeah, I mean, and I read somewhere, someone on the internet was like, "Do you realize T-Boz is off key this entire song?"
Yes, I do.
And I'm like, "It doesn't
It doesn't
matter."
matter.
Yeah, and
You you recognize it, and, like, if he was on, if T-Boz was like, "Hey, I wanna be on American Idol," Randy would be like,
it's a no for me, dog.
"Yes, for me, for you," like,
Yeah,
and 'cause she'd be pitchy or whatever he would say, but it doesn't even matter because
it doesn't
her
matter.
voice it's almost like a record scratch a little bit. It's like it just fits the song perfectly.
Mhm. Yes, indeed.
Alright, before we get out of here, how would you rank the first 3 albums as far as quality?
I mean, Crazy Sexy Cool is my favorite of the 3 by far.
I think it's the
Uh,
best. It's not my favorite just because of time
okay.
and place, but it is clearly their best album, and it is clearly, like, production-wise, invested like, they put some money into this thing to make this thing from front to back sound tremendous. Like, this is like
Right.
an adult this is like, we know that these women are stars, and we're gonna put together, like, the best produced thing that we possibly can.
Yeah, it is a very well produced record. I would The first album sounds a little dated to me. Um And again, it's just like I said earlier, it's kind of noisy and busy
Sounds like
in a
early
way that I
'90s for
don't
sure.
really associate. You're right. It's like a better version of the ABC album,
Mhm.
kind of. Uh,
By ABC, you mean Another Bad Creation.
yes, another
Okay,
bad
okay,
creation.
just
Yes,
making sure
yes.
people may be like, "Is he talking about the Jacksons? Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing here?"
the real ones know.
Yeah.
Fan mail. I think again, like I said, it starts out really good, and then it's too long. And by like the middle, it just kind of like falls off.
To me, it's missing what fan mail is missing is what I really love about their first album, which is the joy
The
and
fun,
the young energy and the
yeah,
fun. Fan mail seems like someone took the life out of these women and they had to put out a professional record, and I don't hear the same youngness in them, and they're older, of course. It's like
right.
7
7
years
years.
later, so they should age up, but it's almost like, the what's the term that I'm thinking of? It's like too civilized, like, it's too it's too music. Oh, we're music professionals, so this is how we have to sound. Whereas the first album was like, no, these people are cool as all hell. I don't care if some of this stuff doesn't work.
Right.
They're just cool.
And I
So
think there's parts in fan mail where they're trying to be like jokey and have fun, but it doesn't sound as effortless as it did the first
it
album.
sounds like
First album sounded
they've
natural.
been beaten down by this music industry
Right.
sometimes.
Which I think is probably pretty accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but the what a transcendent group though.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know where someone like Beyonce considers TLC or whatever, but like there has to be a lot of music from the 2000s, especially from a female perspective, that comes from like this TLC DNA.
Yeah. I mean, without TLC, there's no Destiny's Child. Without TLC, there's no Pink. Without Destiny's Child, there's no Spice Girls. Like all of that
What
stuff.
do you think about
Or
Pink, by the way, from the perspective of like her first album is way more R&B than she would ever do ever again.
right. I think I think Pink is a great R&B singer. Or would be a great soul singer if she chose to do that. Her first album is actually the album that I think sounds the least like she's supposed to sound.
Mhm.
So whoever decided to make that pivot, whether it was her or the label or whatever, like you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but it is interesting because most artists don't make a genre pivot and then become more successful
Mhm.
afterwards.
Mhm.
And who would have thought that in 2026, Pink is still certainly a viable touring act. Whereas like I feel like even she came out around the same time as like Christina and Jessica and all those other like pop girls. And Pink is probably the biggest draw still out of all of those artists, and she would have been the last person out of that group that you thought would have had a career 25 years later.
Pink is Crystal's favorite artist of all time,
Wow.
which means I have seen Pink in concert.
Okay, I saw Pink open for Lenny Kravitz.
No way.
Yeah.
So, my Pink story, I don't remember if I've told you about this. I might have told you about this, but so I we pre-buy tickets to see Pink, and it's one of those credit card deals, and you get the early pre-sale or whatever, so we buy tickets, and then when we get to the actual arena, the new Chase Arena in San Francisco, I don't really like our seat. I'm like, "Okay, I didn't realize this is where we were sitting." We were almost, like, parallel to where she was on stage. So, and in
Okay.
some instances, we're kinda behind her. I was like, "Nope, this is not working," especially since it's Crystal's favorite artist of all time. So I jump on Ticketmaster, and some of my theory is I already paid for these tickets 6 months ago. So it'd be different if I just paid for them today and then had to
Yeah.
buy more tickets, right?
That money's already spent.
So I look, and it's maybe 5 minutes before this concert is supposed to start. So they're still selling these tickets. There's seats that are, probably in the secondary market, I would guess like $400 to $500 seats, and they're 200 a piece. And I was like, "What do you think?" And she's like, "You do what you want." And I'm like, "Okay, we're buying them." And, in her heart of hearts, she probably was very excited, but she's also her mentality is not necessarily to be as freely with spending money, like just how she grew up. So her
Right.
instinct was like, "Oh, this is I don't know, I can't say yes to this, but I'm not gonna stop you." And I was very glad that we did that because, as you know, a lot of her act is trapezing around the
Mm.
whole arena and stuff. So there were times where she was like right on top of us and like right in front of us, and it was awesome. The other seats that we were at, they were kind of behind all the action, so we would have, we would have had a good view, but it wouldn't have been as close. And
Right.
so, yeah, so you're welcome, Pink. We bought 4
Lots
tickets for
of
your show.
money. Lots of money on Pink.
Yeah, so, okay. I think that was it, and let me check my notes real quick. Yep, that is it for our top 5 on TLC. So what you will see is, we'll have the playlist of TLC up, including the top 5 songs and other songs that Mike wants to mix in on the playlist. So be on the lookout for that. 50for50.net. Check us out. For Mike, I am Double G. We will see you when we see you. Peace
Later.
out.